I'd like to show you why knowing your why is the start of your journey. Without a strong why, it can be so difficult to reach your maximum potential. My name is Dr. Jason Ballara, and every week I meet with real estate investors and mindset specialists that are taking action in order to build a life according to their own terms. We will break down what drives successful people and allows them to achieve at such a high level. If you are a professional wanting to break through, or simply someone that wants to hear an inspiring story, the Know Your Why podcast is made for you. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Ballara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast. Today, I'm here with Austin Linney. I feel like you don't really need any sort of introduction. Austin was a guest back at the beginning and had the pleasure of getting to know him better throughout the time since we first sat down together. But first of all, Austin, thanks for coming on the show again.
Got it. Well, we're in the RV and it looked like I was on a boat, but apparently I knocked the desk. So the thing was, and I was like, "Why? I'm not a bobblehead."
Right.
Yeah.
Bouncing up and down.
Yeah. So, man, it's such a pleasure to be here. You know, you started this podcast. You had no idea what you were doing. No. And look at you. You're still doing it. You still loving it. You still loving it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. I think that the conversations are great. I mean, really, it's
what is if your overarching lesson, what have you learned?
That everybody has something to offer. Every single person that I talk to has something to offer. Like I love, and it's kind of why I started in the first place, because that was like the interesting thing to me. But it's like, you know, I've had the opportunity to talk to people that have been on, you know, a bazillion podcasts like yourself and have, you know, sort of or have like a large portfolio in real estate, whatever the case, like somebody think like big name, right? But I've also had the opportunity to interview people that are really just starting out, you know, and both ends of the spectrum are like fantastic. Like just
I'll give you a perfect example. Had a client this morning. I made him a couple months ago. I made him CEO of my management company. And we're talking about the business and what we want. And he was like, "What's your vision for it?" And I was like, that's not the right question. He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, because what you need from it and what I need from it are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Well, why would you hire me? I have no Airbnb experience. But I'm also jaded as anything. I don't want to do half the stuff in the business. But I told him, I said, skills I can teach, loyalty I can't.
Right.
And so we have to, right? We do this thing where we look up to people like, "Oh, this guy's on a podcast and all this shit." You know, like the number one lesson from doing 600 plus episodes in like 2 years is that guy that's worth 30 million that has 10,000 units, he's got problems just like I do. His kid just threw up. Or like, you know, he lost money out on a deal. And I think what I have brought to the table that's really like perfect example. We had an appraisal come in $400,000 less than the ARV that we know is right. And the appraiser got the square footage wrong, the rooms wrong, like everything. Like there's no chance that he went to this property. And we fought it and we've done everything that we could do. It's my old boss. I know all this stuff. It's wrong. What's the point? We got another property right around the corner that we're closing on in 2 weeks. If I'm going to buy $12 million worth of real estate today, does it serve me to waste a month upset about this, or does it serve me to go out and buy another property?
Yeah.
And when you can start doing this at a high skill, that to me is the superpower that people are like, "Okay, great, didn't work out. Boom, going to move on to the next one."
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been, we've had, I mean, yeah, there's it's funny because I'm on my veterinary world, like I'm very good at that, right? Because I can't let like frustration, anger, things like that, like affect how I do surgery. Like I have to be able to just.
You're a rock climber.
Yeah, you can't, like exactly Anthony. Like you can't.
You know,
I can't.
Like I watched that show. You know, that crazy dude that like free sales, and I'm just like, oh, I'm ADD. I could never do that.
Yeah, but you can't like lose focus because you're mad about something silly in surgery. You just can't do it. And I have tried to like take that same, you know, as I'm going through the real estate stuff, you get
you come upon things that are frustrating. And it's like, as you said, that's a perfect example. Like the appraiser, it's like, and things come up and it's like, it's newer to me. So it's easier for me to get into that like frustration space, but I at least I have the background to be like, no, that doesn't serve me right now. I need to fix the problem.
So there's this thing I'm on, and I feel like I've nailed it. I feel like I've coached enough people that I've nailed something that people aren't clocking when it comes to starting a new business or starting a real estate venture or being an investor. You're reading all the books, you're listening to all the podcasts, you're waiting 3 years to buy your first property. You're doing all these things, right? And there's no chance that it's the knowledge that you're losing that you don't have. There's no chance. That's not the thing.
Right.
And so I said, okay, then what is it? It's the feeling. You don't have the feeling, and that chasm feels like you're jumping over the Grand Canyon. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so when you have a coach or you have somebody that's done it before, they can say, oh, you don't know that. I guess not a big deal. Like, okay, we're gonna right. Because like here's where we're starting. Like same thing when I started Airbnb. Everything is a 10 alarm fire. Like burn the places down. This is never going to work. Blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, okay, great. That's not going to work. Move on. And maybe it's because I've been knocked in the teeth probably like 40 times in my life that I'm like, it's not a big deal. Yeah. But when you start realizing that the only way that you fail is by not going for it. That's it. It doesn't mean that you have to hit the million the first year in your business. Per example, this happened today, like literally today. I hate when my clients cancel before the meeting, like especially when it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you have a really good reason.
Right.
Well, I'm about to give you the really good reason. He said, he's a land guy. He said, I bought a piece of land outside of Austin. We were going to develop 5 acres and sell it off and do this whole thing, right? Which is going to take like 2 years. He said, I bought it on Thursday. So Thursday last week, today's Monday, everybody. Somebody just offered me $1.1 million over listing, and they want it right now, and they're closing tomorrow. That's a good reason. Right. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Right.
But hold on. Here's my thing. Oh my God, that guy got so lucky. What a deal. Blah 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 blah. He's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that 4-year success of $1 million profit for him and his partners, he has 350 pieces of land.
Yeah.
But that's not what people see. They just see the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's actually been, sort of asked what the biggest thing I've learned. That's one of the things is it's like I've gotten to talk to people about, kind of their beginning, right? And it's like the people that we look at and we look up to, it makes sense to look up to them, but at the same time, like they didn't just start yesterday, right? Like you see that success. It's like they went through all this stuff in the beginning too. They went through all the hardships. They went through all the, mistakes, struggles. Maybe you get a mentor and that helps you mitigate some of that and lessen it, but you're still going to have, it doesn't go right all the time, no matter what you are. And that's okay. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to go right every single time.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because we're building a couple businesses right now, big businesses. And yet we haven't talked about what we're buying yet. We haven't talked about what we're selling yet. What are you talking about? Isn't that what a business is? No. All we've been talking about is principles, values, what our vision is for ourselves. Okay, well, how is that, Austin? Because if this doesn't match what I want in my lifestyle, then why are we even doing it in the first place, right? Yeah. But here's the bigger thing that's kind of like hit me, and it's like the aha moment. The business doesn't matter. Well, why doesn't it matter? Because we are a value-driven, unstoppable mindset on freaking 10 team that if you ask me to go open up a dance studio tomorrow, you best believe that'd be the best dance studio you ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And so when you can get to that point as an entrepreneur or investor or something, like that is the superpower. Like that's the, oh my goodness. And so what's interesting, right? And I was laughing with Conrad the other day because I am knee deep in private equity and real estate is like, you know, whatever. That's so easy to do now. It's like, it doesn't even matter because that's just numbers. It's just numbers. And I was like, man, it's amazing to me what I consume now compared to what I consumed 2 years ago. Like, you know, 2-3 years ago, I was starting Big Pockets, and like Bigger Pockets was like my education. And like, I don't even listen to that now because I consumed everything I could possibly consume on wholesaling, flipping, everything. And so now, as you continue down the personal development role, you're saying, man, I don't really like this. Like, I don't want to show up if I don't care if the plumber's there. I don't want to find the apartment. I don't want to wholesale the property. I don't want to Airbnb the property. But what do I like doing? Well, I love to golf. Like, I really do love to golf. I love to talk to people. What can I do with that? Well, people just come out of the woodwork and say, I need money. Okay. So what's this thing called a fund of a funds? Ooh, I like this. So it's a fund that invests in money, but just gives money to investors. Okay. Well, let me see. I know Anthony Vicino. I know Chris Grinzik. I know Emil. So I know all the best operators in the country. And this is what they do for a living. They eat and breathe this stuff. They talk to everybody. Okay, well, what if I could just give them money and I don't do anything? Oh, this is great. I'm going to go do that. But it took the 4 years of consuming Rich Dad Poor Dad and Bigger Pockets. And is this even a thing? Can I do this? Well, yeah. And then I listened to a year worth of Zoom calls on Wednesday night of multifamily. And after a year, I was like, this is dumb. Like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. Like, it just didn't match my brain. But there was something out there for me. It just took, 500 episodes of my podcast and to talk to 1 million people. That's a job. You can do that. Like, but we're still not there yet. So what am I doing now? Well, I'm referring clients for a capital group. Okay, well, that's my foot in the door, this sector, with these 2 guys that are great who want to be in business with us. But what I don't tell you is the, 60 mil I had across the table that didn't close with these other guys, and so we're so quick to take it to the next step. I heard the greatest analogy I've ever heard from a guy that I truly, he has so many businesses, he's crushing it. He said, think of life like one big stair step. And he said, you did everything in your world. You learned, you worked, you hard, you earned, you everything. And he said, you get to the top of the stair step. And as you look past the stair step, there's that other end before you go up to the next step. That's life. And he goes, here's what everybody does is they rush to that step really quickly because they want to get to the next one instead of sitting on the edge of that step and going, good job. Way to go. Like, way to go. Now, here's the problem. To step from the edge of the step to the next step over, you have to become a different person. Are you ready to do that yet? Because you can just sit there and enjoy that too. And he said, remember that some of the growth that happens in your life, all of it doesn't happen in your bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might make less money this year, but the company's happier. The systems are better. I have a healthy relationship with my health and my family, but what did everybody say? Oh, well, you didn't make what you made last year. Yeah, but that's not the marker for everything.
Yeah, no, true. And it's definitely, and I got really caught up in that, the metrics in the very beginning when I started with real estate, because it was like, oh, you have to set goals for yourself, but it's easier to set a goal that's a number than it is to say, I want to intentionally be happy in my life. I want to, that kind of thing. And so it's easier to say, I want to have, so many, millions assets under management, or I want this many doors or whatever it is. And I got caught up in that in the beginning. And then I just mostly felt bad about myself because I was like, I'm not going to meet this goal, and so, but I realized that my true goal from the very beginning was do something that would allow me to spend more time with my family. And so when I set those other goals that were just the goals that it seemed like everybody thought you should have, I was spending less time with my family. And I'm like, well, I'm actually not doing what the real goal was. And I also think ties in to what you sort of alluded to at the very beginning of that conversation, of that part you were talking about, but and you're going to build a dance studio, right? So it's going to be the best dance studio there is. Anything I do, and you're like, anything you do, I need to do it. I can't do it halfway. I can't half-ass it. So it has to be, it maybe has to build slower because it has to be right. Every investor dollar matters. Like it has to be.
Oh, dude, if I take your money, I will go Uber. I will wait tables. I will bartend. Yep. You're going to get made whole. You best believe that shit.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting is I think that I'm doing this new thing with my clients and it's really messing with them. I love it. I said, are you going to be a millionaire? Well, yeah. I mean, of course. Okay. In 40 years. Whoa. Hold on. Okay. So you're going to be a millionaire in 40 years. Yes. Okay. So you can identify. Well, I know, but no, that's not what I said. Can you be a millionaire in 40 years? Yes, I can. Okay. So money's taken care of. You're a fucking millionaire. Let's go. Who are you going to be? Who are you going to be in your community? Who are you going to be as a father? Who are you going to be as a leader? Who are you going to be as a CEO? No. Money's taken care of.
Right.
Well, I mean, that changes everything. Yeah. And so all we have, and the biggest issue right now with everybody, is they have improper expectations on an improper time horizon.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did with my new client, by the way, he's one of the most high-powered coaches I've ever met in my life. And he's got this business and this business crushing this business. And he's got 2 projects over here that he's kind of half doing. Well, I know, but I sunk $250,000 in my software project. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but you're shutting it down. Well, hold on. Calm down, Austin. First call. Let's dial it down. I said, no. Okay. So when does it need to be done? Well, I need it done in 6 months. No. What if it's done in 10 years? Okay. Well, that changes everything. Okay. I can put it down. Okay. Well, I need to have this tough conversation with this person over here. Okay. Have that conversation. So those things shut down. Well, I mean, I got this thing that I've been sitting on for like 8 months. This dude wants to partner up with me. He wants to pay me a ton of money. He wants to do all this. Okay. Why haven't you done it? Well, I haven't had the bandwidth. Do you have the bandwidth now? Yeah, I do. Okay. Boom. 2 weeks go by. We work through it. Signs a $400,000 fee for consulting. Gets his nut paid for $100K a month for 6 months. And gets 50% of whatever project. So just signed $1 million+ deal. That was literally on his table for 8 months, but couldn't find the space in his head to do it.
Yeah.
And I said, here's really simple. Well, I don't want to give him everything because I don't know if I want to be in this relationship forever. I said, well, can you date? And then you can get married. And he sends me back a text. I think you just made me $1 million. Another example, client just before this. Well, I'm off my game. I'm not working out when I need to. I'm not waking up when I need to. Like, we made some good money, but now I'm kind of like stuck. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go read Atomic Habits. I'm going to go do this. And I said, no, you're not. What do you mean? No, I'm not. I said, dude, you know what's in the freaking book. I don't need to tell you. It's in the title.
Yep.
Just go do it. So don't listen to the podcast. No, that's not what I'm saying. But don't go read the book and use that as the excuse why you're not doing it. Go do it. Yep. And so like we're creating this space where we're putting things in front of us and we're saying, well, I can't do this. I can't do that. Everybody knows what they should be doing. Go do it. Yep. Stop telling me what you're going to do. Start getting rid of the soft talk. That's a whole other conversation for another day. But just creating a space where you're saying, okay, what's the thing I want to do? I had a client. He's getting up at 8:30. He's a salesman. Getting up at 8:30. Hasn't read a book in 5 years. He's got a list of 16 things he needs to do for his wedding and his new house. Hadn't done any of them for a month. And I'm just like, okay, so what's the 7 things that you can do this week? And can you get up at 7:30 and can you read 10 pages a day? Yeah, I think I can handle that. So starts knocking off the list. Starts reading. 3 days in, he's like, dude, I can do anything I put my mind to. Yes. And how, like, that wasn't like a $7,000 fix. That was like,
right.
Like tweak.
Yeah. And you really can. I'm a week away, 5 days away from being done with 75 hard. And I have learned like a ton from doing it, in that, like, I like it. First of all, I like most of it. Like, I like reading, I like exercise. Like, there's a lot to it that I really enjoy. But I realize, like, you do make excuses, like, why haven't I been exercising, or why I haven't read in a long time, or whatever it is. And it's like, you can make it happen. Anyone can make it happen. It's not, there's nothing, there's no reason you can't. You just have to figure out what your priorities are. So if you make those things a priority, then it will happen.
Yeah. And that's the key word, priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't do this. No, it's like, so, same workshop kind of thing. Take a list of 10 things you need to do. Get rid of 8 of them. Do the things at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I coach a couple companies and they're like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we're going to do it. No. And even me, right? Like, they let me run and then they kind of yank back on the reins and they're like, okay, yeah, but what can we do in the first 30 days? And so that's what I'm even learning is, like, how do we get a win today? Like, how do we get a win today? Well, you can read a book. I know, but like, one of the things that everybody has twisted is, like, I'm like, go for a 10-minute walk. What's that going to do? But you don't even get it. We're not even on the same wavelength. It's a commitment that you're making to yourself over and over again. 10 minutes turns into 12 minutes, 12 minutes turns into 13, 14, 15, 16. We're creating complications because that's the way our mind wants to go, when all you have to do is just get going in a certain direction and then keep going.
Yeah. 100% true. It's funny, like that, sort of the 75 hard analogy too, is in the beginning, I was like, well, what 2 workouts am I going to do? Like, I kept thinking, I thought each workout had to be this, like, super high intense workout and all of that. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to do. And then I was like, no, I think the point of this is that I am doing something, right? So it's like, sometimes it is an intense workout, but sometimes I'm walking with my kids, or I'm taking the dog for a walk, or whatever it is. The point is that you're doing something, and you're committing to doing that something. And so it's just kind of, I think what you said, what you need to do is true. Everybody, what you need to do in your head. Is just, do you want it bad enough?
Well, yeah. Not only do you want it bad enough, does it mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Like in all seriousness, like, it's the number one thing that everybody asks me. Like, I want consistency. Well, yeah, but, like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like, is it just to go to work? Like, cultivate it, right? Cultivate it. It took me years. There's nothing on my schedule that's not a hell yes. Nothing. And so if that's the case, I'm on my, I don't know, 14 Zoom call today. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. But look at me, right? Guys, everybody, I'm on the East Coast. I'm tired, but look how excited I am to pour into you and tell you, like, hey, dude, I care about you so much. And here's the deal. Weirdest thing in the world. Now, it hasn't happened to me in a year. This guy hires me for Airbnb. Like, let me tell you something. You hire me, I'm in, baby. And he hired me for a couple calls because he wanted to learn Airbnb. We get 5 minutes in. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nope. Dude, you're not here. You're weak. This is not, I don't know what this is, but I'm not. Well, introduce me to some of your people in your network. Nope, not going to do it. Nope, you're not going to follow through. Dude, what the fuck? Blah, 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 blah. And I just I've never ripped into anybody like I've done that in my entire life. And he got all defensive. And And he said, man, I didn't hire you for no mindset shit. I hired you to be an Airbnb coach. And I was like, Airbnb, I can teach that in like 20 minutes. That's so easy. And so he's like, all right. I'm like, cool. So I go in and I start talking about Airbnb and I start talking about the cleaners and everything. And he's like, well, I mean, like, but I mean, do you think it's because my why's not big enough? Like, do you think that's why I don't have my consistency? And I'm like, well, you know, the cleaners and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he goes, dude, what the fuck? I said, no, you said no mindset stuff. So here I am touching back. Well, I mean, if you're going to open the can of worms. And then we spent the next 45 minutes talking about stuff. And you know what he says to me at the end of the call? Thank you. My friends won't push me the way that you just did. And he goes, you might have just changed my entire life. And so remember, when you invite me into your kitchen, I'm going to cook. Like, I am not coming in here and taking your money or spending time with somebody because I'm okay with mediocrity. And it's not, dude, guys, if you knew me, I'm the softest guy you ever met. I'm actually not that aggressive at all. I'm very nice. But what I'm not okay with is I'm not okay with people not living the best version of themselves. What I'm not okay with is the 18 years of alcoholism that I put myself through, that you don't have to. What I'm not okay is getting divorced and losing your house and your dog. What I'm not okay with doing is losing 30 grand in the business that I'm still paying off. That's what I'm not okay with. But what I'm okay with is giving you the opportunity to show up for yourself and create a life for yourself and your kids so that you can create the dreams and break your chains away from having to work for a fucking a-hole boss, because I did it for 20 years. It doesn't give a shit about you, right? And what alarms me, right? And just because we deal with them and I see it, this old school mentality of corporate employment and how they literally do not care about your health or your being. They literally do not care. And I'm going to manage from a place of anger. And this is how people get motivated. And I'm like, you have no idea. That's not how people get motivated anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's not a thing anymore. That's for
not
sure.
A thing
that
anymore.
Not,
like,
that is
it's very exhausting to me that you think that's a thing. And we're going to have a separate conversation. But here's where I've come down to. This whole rant I just went on, I realized it 2 days ago what it is when I was having lunch with some friends. People are not smart. They're not motivated. They're not motivated. They're not driven. They're not all these things. What they are is very simple. They are tired of being unseen. That's what they are. They're tired of feeling like they're insignificant. They're tired of feeling like nobody gives a shit. Well, let me tell you something, folks. I'm here. I give a shit. I see you, and I want you to be great. And when I realize that, you know, we're so hard on our kids, right? Like, don't sing that song. Don't start that podcast. You're not going to be great. Like I want to be your cover to say, go do that crazy thing. I think I'm releasing a podcast next week. It's called You're Crazy. Thank you. Like, I look at my life and I go, dude, you had to have been crazy to think you could lose 85 pounds. You had to be crazy to think that you could own 5 companies. You had to be crazy to think that you could have 2 podcasts with 600 episodes in 2 years. You had to be crazy that you're living in an RV and you got engaged 3 weeks ago to a woman that loves you completely. Like, all these things were like things that if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I'd be like, oh my God. And so I want to see that for you. And the only way for that to happen is for you to believe in one simple fact. There's got to be more. There's got to be more love. There's got to be more time. There's got to be more freedom. There's got to be more health. There's got to be more business. There's got to be more money. Like, what blows me away more than anything, and just to kind of blow the lid off the whole thing, is that you and I, because we're a little bit older, we used to think that 50K a year jobs were good. Dude, I'm meeting 22-year-olds that got 300 racks in the bank, and they're like, 50K? I make that in a month. Like, what's available to us out there right now makes me so excited that literally whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to paint pictures, you want to milk goats, you want to start a dance studio, you want to buy real estate, like, whatever, dude. Like, we've made it, I mean, dude, just this morning, I downloaded 10 of the best books that I've ever read for free. And it's like, come on, man. Like, what do you need?
Yeah.
Read. Okay. Very simple.
Crazy.
Read Think and Grow Rich, read 4 Hour Workweek, and read Atomic Habits, and you're good. You could just read those books for the rest of your life, and it'll give you the framework to everything that you need.
It's so funny. I just finished Atomic Habits and I'm halfway through 4 Hour Workweek exactly right now. Like I'm on those books. So they're great. A couple of things you said that I love. I mean, one of the things, just, because my kids are such a big thing to me, but you talk about like how people will stifle kids, right? Like they do, when kids are young, they do crazy things. They think they can't, they think they can do things. And we like to give them tough love but what I am learning from, having these conversations with you, but also from my kids, is kind of like, fuck that, do whatever you want. Like, you can do whatever you want. And every time I feel, my son doing something silly, like we're out on a walk and he's like, skip with me, daddy. And like, I'll feel that little twinge of self-consciousness. And I'm like, fuck you, skip. He wants to skip with you. Skip down the street. We're doing it. Like, I feel like,
dude, it's so funny that you said that. I have a word this year, and last year was expansion and this year's experience. So every time I'm faced with a decision, like we just did it. Dude, I'm the weirdest guy in the world. I will spend $1 million on a real estate investment like it's water, like literally water. But you ask me to spend an extra $20 a night to stay where I want to, I'm like fighting it. Right.
Yeah.
I think you and I are the same person. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what my problem is. But listen, no BS. There's an RV park outside of Nashville. Literally, we're on an island. Like, you're staying in the lake. It's beautiful. It's not cheap compared for RV park centers. And we need to stay for like 7 days. And I was like, what's your word this year? Experiences. Yeah. Do it. And so, like, it's the same thing when we were in Sedona. We got a helicopter ride. I would never do that before. And it's amazing how these little triggers, like your kids, like, it's like, just do it.
Yeah.
And like, just do it, man. Like, and like, here's the deal. You're a grown man. You do not want to skip. Like, no part of that with that won't skip. I'm a skipper. You're not a skipper.
I want to skip if it makes him happy. That's like that. If we're having fun together, like, that's fine. And it's like, and the other thing that's been crazy is, and this will be the first time this is said on the podcast, but I just gave notice at my W-2 job. You know that, but and in talking to the people I work with, it really struck me because people are like, well, where are you going? Nowhere. They're like, you're not going to another hospital? I'm like, nope. I'm just taking control. I just want to be, I want to work when I want to work. I want to do it in the way I want to. And like a number of them, and it sort of made me sad because a number of them were like, wow, that's great. I wish I could do that. And I want to be like, so do it. You can do it. I'm not special. I'm not different than anyone else. Like, you can do it. And it just made me like,
yeah, I have a bomb, dude, that I love. It's like my favorite thing. You have not seen people more nervous or don't know how to handle it when this is my favorite, dude. Hey, where do you live? We don't have an address. What?
Yeah.
I don't. No, I do. Jason, I'm telling you, you have not lived until you've seen people that cannot wrap their mind around the fact that we live in an RV. Yeah. And they're like, I don't understand. What do you mean you don't have an address?
But where do you put your catalogs? Where do those go to? Like, it's, yeah.
So dude, we've been in the RV for like 2.5 months. We'll be here for the foreseeable future for the year. By the way, a couple things that people need to understand that are awesome. One, I'm 39. I would live in a 55 and up community tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow I would. The second thing is everybody that RVs is amazing. They bring us food. They're cool as hell. They're retired. They sold big businesses. It's really great. They live in like tour buses. It's the craziest thing you ever seen in your life. And by the way, these tour buses are like $500,000. They're not cheap. So it's a whole thing. Yeah. But somebody asked me, like, what do you love about it most? Is it beautiful? Is it all those things? Yes, it's all those things, but it's the thing that we love the most. It's simple. Mm-hmm. We got a couple clothes on us. I got my weights. I got my podcasting gear. I got my shit. Hey, I'm going to go out for a walk in between meetings. Going to come back. It's cool. It's simple. And we have to ask ourselves, like, how complicated have we made our life? Like, and here's the bigger rub. And a lot of people won't get this. So I'm sorry if it goes over your head, because I'll say it twice. Your need to complicate your life is a self-sabotaging mechanism for you to not get anything done. What? What did he say? Your need to make your life complicated, to hide the clothing behind your dresser instead of setting yourself up for success to work out, is a simple self-sabotaging mechanism. So you have something to bitch about, because that gives you the excuse that you need. I had a client who would love to go to the coffee shop for 3 hours and then never get anything done because he was distracted, and then would love to talk about on the coaching call how he didn't get anything done at the thing. And I said, because you like to do it, because it gives you something, because you need that fuel. Yeah. And guess what he stopped doing? He stopped going to coffee shops. Like,
yeah. Goes back to what you said. You know what you need to do. Mm-hmm. You know what you need to do. If you really think about it, you know what you need to do to make the changes, to get ahead, whatever it is, you know what you need to do.
I took a picture the other day. I took a picture. She took a picture. I took a picture. Whatever. And I'm gonna document all this stuff, because I'm gonna create millions and millions of dollars and millions and millions of jobs from this RV. And then I want everybody to say, like, how did you do it? And this is my joke. This is my favorite thing in the entire, and I have my story for your why. It's the best ever. The vision is so clear. I can't wait to tell it, because I'm going to go into super detail with you. All right. So my joke is that 3 years ago, I've been saying the same thing. Like, you know what you need to do, tiny habits, work, all this is the same question I'm going to be asked 15 years from now. When my kids are working in my business and we've made $1 billion, and this guy's going to come up to me and I'm going to go, it's the same advice I gave you 15 years ago. You just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. It's 100% true. And it's when you say you're going to create millions of dollars and millions of jobs out of that RV, like, I 100% believe you. That is, it's a fact. That's not a boastful statement. It's just going to happen. So anybody listening to, like, this is real.
It's not even for me. Like, that's what people don't get. It's like, it's for all the kids that their parents that have worked for me, that have a job, a good place to work, that's growing, pushing, everything like that. Yep. So, all right. I already know the question. Yep. I already know where it's coming from.
Let's hear.
I'm going to hammer
it
out, because this baby is rock solid and it's gangster. Okay. So I was walking one morning, and I kind of got my podcast producer, Mark, you know him very, very well. He doesn't pull any punches with me. Yeah, he doesn't pull any punches with me, and he loves to, he's probably one of the only ones that can, like, get me worked up, and he's always pushing me. And he was like, listen, man, no matter what happens in your life, if a client fucks you out of money or this thing, like, you said that your job was impact, like, it's impact. So, like, if that happens and you bitch about it, that's on you, because that's what you told me your why was. So deal with it. And so, like, I started, like, thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, that's right. That's a good call. Okay. So I'm in Tuscany. Okay. And I'm 72 years old. Okay. I'm wearing white linen and open toe shoes because I'm a baller. Okay. Right. And
what else would you wear at 72 in Tuscany? That's perfect.
and so we're on our farm, and I had just picked up tomatoes and eggs from the chickens and I cooked, right? Guys, I'm a billionaire that cooks for his Airbnb guests, because I have 2 villas on the property, and we host Airbnb guests because I love to cook and I love to feed people. So I cook for them. I take Cassie down to the town, and we're walking down the street. And across the street is a young man, and the young man yells out, "Holy shit, that's Austin Linney." And he runs up to me, and I say, "Hey man, like, thank you so much. like, I appreciate that, but I don't know who you are. And he goes, I know you don't know who I am, but you coach so-and-so, and he changed my life. That's what I want. Second circle of impact.
That's big. That's really big. Very forward thinking, and it gives me chills a little bit, because you think about that, like someone, like it's cool when someone's like, hey, he helped me, thanks. But like that second level impact is just an entirely different feeling. It's like you helped someone who helped someone, right? Like it's like you're like,
see, here's what people don't understand. And I'm not complaining, but coaching is a thankless job. Like really, like I love my clients. I love every client. I love everybody I help. I help people in the grocery store checkout. But like it's not. When I say thankless, I mean like it's never ceasing. Like there's always work to be done. You can always get better, right? Okay. But when your clients can go affect somebody else, or they're coaching or something like that, that's when it like blows your mind, and you're like, oh my goodness, right? And I got a couple stories, and we'll wrap up here. When my client is on 5 medications, and she's 80 pounds overweight, and now she's lost 60 pounds. She's not on any medication. And her parents are working out for the first time in their entire life. And their kids are working out. That's when I'm like, what? Oh, like I affected her and she affected them, and so on and so on. It's like, and then I have a new barometer. It's the only thing that matters. Literally the only thing that I judge my coaching on. It's very simple. When the wives of my coaching clients find my number, I don't know them, and they text me, whatever you're doing, keep it up. I'm good. Yeah. Had that happen 3 times.
That means you're doing something right. Yeah. If you've made the wife happy, that's a big step. Yeah. That's huge. Oh man. Listen, I know you're tired. It's been a long day for you. I want to keep you all night, but tell me, first of all, how can people get a hold of you if they want to? And then we'll wrap it up with I'm not even going to ask you the questions. You end it however you want. You've earned it.
So yeah, austinlindy.com, LINNEY. Got my podcast, got everything. Book a call with me if you want. Chat about the life, chat about the world, whatever you want to do. Go listen to Construct Your Life. Hit me up on Instagram, Austin Linney. You can fix your habits, and you can fix your routine, and you can fix where you're surrounded, and you can buy the expensive home, and you can fix all those things. But if you still identify as an alcoholic, if you still identify as somebody playing small, if you still identify as you're not enough, then none of those things matter. And so my hope for everybody is that they fix the identity of who they see in the mirror. And when you fix that, the universe and the world will conform to your new standards. And when that happens, the entire cornucopia of life opens up for you. But this all boils down to one simple thing. Do you love yourself enough to change? And if you do, then make the change permanent.
Yeah. I don't need to say anything else. That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for what you do for people and me. And I appreciate it all.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. We'll sign off here.
I'd like to show you why knowing your why is the start of your journey. Without a strong why, it can be so difficult to reach your maximum potential. My name is Dr. Jason Ballara, and every week I meet with real estate investors and mindset specialists that are taking action in order to build a life according to their own terms. We will break down what drives successful people and allows them to achieve at such a high level. If you are a professional wanting to break through, or simply someone that wants to hear an inspiring story, the Know Your Why podcast is made for you.